This is my review of Homegoing by Gyasi. There will not be any spoilers, so if you haven't read it, you can stick around. Homegoing is historical fiction told in an episodic fashion. It follows the descendants of Effia and Essie born in Ghana. Essie is enslaved and sent to America. Effia marries a white British soldier and lives a life of privilege. Each chapter goes back and forth between the two half-sisters' children and their children and their children, and so on up until the present day. Each episode is a very complex vignette about family and place and identity, which leaves the reader wanting more from each generation's story. The character development is really strong, despite the fact that it's a very plot-driven novel, which it has to be because of the episodic structure, and it made the book hard to put down. The writing is lyrical, with the voice of the narrator kind of soothing and wise, even when describing really horrible events. So the characters feel almost mythological as a result of their martyrdom to whiteness. The title of the book is very straightforward. As part of the Christian African tradition, Homegoing reframes death as a return to God, a spiritual freedom that slips the bonds of the secular world. Extrapolating somewhat, Homegoing refers to the characters of the book creating and returning to places of turmoil and violence, refuge and comfort, both literal and figurative across generations. I would say it's the opposite of leave-taking, which there is a ton of in this book. Separation and death are omnipresent. So I think the choice of Homegoing as a title makes this book transformative despite its unflinching realism. It also suggests movement toward home without actually achieving it. So I think the title is multi-layered. The main point of the novel is that the impact of whiteness and colorism on Africans and the African diaspora was and continues to be devastating to families and individuals. What was enslavement has become institutional racism, and it continues to destroy lives. Although the book is very straightforward, the tension that holds the book together comes from significant paradox surrounding certain concepts as we ideally experience them. Gyasi is writing to answer the questions: what was the effect of British imperialism in Africa? How did that colonization and enslavement translate to America? And most importantly, what is the effect of generational trauma on Black families? There are elements in the book of Alex Haley's roots and of Octavia Butler's kindred. It's a deceivingly simple book, but its meanings are complex and layered, and it's going to stay with me for a long time. I may even reread it sooner rather than later. I recommend Homegoing without hesitation. I'm giving this my first 5 out of 5. If you're looking for a relatively short novel that you can really sink your teeth into and be transported to another place and time, pick up Homegoing. If you have read it or you do read it, let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts.